What is up, dudes and dudettes, and all our comrades in between? This is the Rad Left with James and Casey. I'm James, and this is Casey.
Hi.
And today's episode is brought to you by Kroger brand seltzer water, the pink grapefruit flavor. I don't have a joke for that or anything. It was just right in front of me, and it tastes good.
I think that's what Trump drinks, though.
Is it?
I don't know.
Shit. I've been told by the libs that I'm a Trump supporter because I criticize Biden, so
Yeah, well, there
that
you
makes
go.
sense.
You share the same drink as him. I'm just kidding. I made that up. If he can lie, I can lie.
Hey, you know what? We're in the land of post-truth.
Yes.
So really anything that we want to say, we can. I don't know if you knew this, but Bernie has 7 super PACs, according to Biden.
Is that a lie?
Absolutely it is.
Oh, yeah, that is a lie. Yeah. Okay, I was just checking.
Yeah, that was a defining moment for me during their last debate where I was like, what in the shit? Because Bernie was like, you're funded by millionaires and billionaires, and Biden goes, you've got 7 super PACs.
You got 7 super packs.
Yeah.
Packs. I remember that. I kind of remember that now.
And Bernie was like, name one.
Yeah, couldn't do it. It's a super pack.
Super PAC.
Yeah,
Hey,
there's things going on.
that's-
It's been kind of a slow, like since Monday. It seems like it's been. I don't want to say slow. Maybe it's the calm before the storm. But Trump has been going around talking crazy shit, doing the authoritarian boogie woogie,
Yeah.
making up stuff to get people, the dum-dums, to believe him. Stuff about Antifas in black combat suits, and they're in planes with Biden flying around, going from city to city, basically making it sound like they have Biden held hostage against his will, and like, we're going to go to this city now and destroy things. Just trying to scare up some scares, make people scared. And people that are easily scared are going to get scared, which is scary.
Yeah, I mean, are we all easily scared? I wonder this sometimes, because there's so many people on the right, these really fragile white folk who are afraid that their whiteness is going to be under attack, and
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that always wants to take, the both sides, there's got to be, you know what I mean? Like that, like I can't be right all of the time.
Right.
And I'm absolutely not.
Right.
So like, I don't know, like, is there, I don't know. Like, are we unjustly scared of this civil war? Are we being manipulated
I've heard
as well?
I've heard people say that. Yeah, I've heard like a few guests on certain shows. Like this one CIA guy was talking, and he thought that was the most ridiculous, funny thing. He was, I hear a lot of these liberals saying they're afraid of a civil war, which is just ridiculous. And also the thing about Trump wanting to do a third term, he's like saying how crazy that is. Like that, there's no way that can happen. But I mean, I feel like he's alluded to that himself a little bit, right? Hasn't he? Or I mean, are we getting the wrong news possibly?
From Trump?
Yeah, hasn't he?
He's joked about it
Yeah, that's what I
multiple
thought.
times.
But
Yeah.
a lot of times Trump will joke about things he knows, the libs are scared of. Like,
Yeah.
apparently it was a joke about winning his face on Mount Rushmore. Or is he
Oh,
serious
come
about
on.
things?
Yeah.
And then when he gets caught, he backtracks and makes it like, I was just joking, which is a classic, bully move.
Yeah, it's
like,
just-
what are you getting upset about? I was just kidding.
Gaslighting. Yeah.
We're terrified of COVID.
Yeah. Eric says we're terrified of COVID.
Yeah, I'm more scared of the economy failing at this point. I don't know why. My fear of getting the disease has gone away personally. I mean, that could change next week if I know someone that has it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going around licking doorknobs or anything, but
Yeah.
I just have stopped being like, I mean, there was a phase the first couple weeks where I feel like I was definitely,
Yeah, we were all pretty horrified.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like the fear of it has lessened, even though we're still seeing like 1,000 deaths a day.
I know. Human beings get
We're at
very,
like 185, I think.
Yeah.
Right? 185,000 people dead.
Yeah. I saw a post the other day where someone said like, we still are told to mourn and never forget the 2,000 that died at 9/11, but now we're
Yeah.
at 180,000 deaths, and that's acceptable for some reason.
Yeah. I saw a poll that said that 56% of Republicans said the amount of deaths so far is acceptable.
Yep.
Like, acceptable.
Yep.
How about no deaths are acceptable?
Well,
What happened to all lives matter?
I know, exactly. Unless you're COVID's.
COVIDiots.
COVIDiots. That's probably a new name they're going to call them. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. If you got COVID, you're a COVIDiot.
Yeah.
That's not our words. We're just assuming what Trumpsters are going to do to justify their horrible actions and thoughts
Yeah.
to keep their commander-in-chief free from any kind of retribution, which seems to be their game. But, today we've had some very academic podcasts, which our last one with Matt was very good. I learned a lot. Michael, damn it.
Yeah,
I didn't learn his name, apparently.
Learned a lot, but I mean, you can only hold so much information in
right.
your head before you start losing other things.
The name's the first thing that goes for me. Thank you. But anyways, we're going to have just a fun one, just a goofy old, just talking about anything kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just going to.
It might not be fun for you guys listening because we don't really have a point today, but it's going to be fun for us because we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out.
Because politics is about my fourth thing I like to talk about on a line of other things I like to talk about personally.
Okay.
Only because
what's your top
here's
four?
why I don't love talking about politics. And even though, ironically, I'm on a political podcast, which you may ask, why are you on this? Because I want to learn and I'm trying to get out of my bubble. But my natural self, whoever that is, which maybe is not the right person to be, is always like, I'll post stuff just because I get angry.
Yeah.
But whenever it becomes a debate, I'll erase it or I just get tired. I used to engage a lot more, but now I'm just getting tired of it. But it's because with politics, the more I think about it and the more I learn, the more depressed and anxious I get. It's not like something where I feel anything. I'm not getting anything that's really pleasant feeling, but I am learning things that you need to know. And you do need to know these things. So I have to keep myself doing it. But other things, I feel like when I learn them, like, oh, I can apply this to my life.
Yeah.
And I can maybe get this problem fixed. But with politics, it just feels like, man, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't have any fucking power.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers are just trying to, now it's just like they're poking my nose in it.
Yeah.
Now they're just being blatant where it's just like, hey, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And I'm like, I don't know. If we try to protest, you kill us.
You're right.
So I don't know. I guess just take it. And that feels horrible.
Yeah.
Just being a, fucking monkey.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I was thinking about today too. I look around and I see, I'm reading a lot and consuming a lot, and I hear about activists and activism, and I just wonder, what is that exactly? Organizing. Organizing, are we talking about organizing protests? I don't know. I'd like to hear, and I'd like to learn more personally about things that we can do, on the ground level. I don't know. I've had this idea that I want to create neighborhood, I don't want to call them militias because that, I don't know, that sounds aggressive, but just neighborhood protection programs.
Yeah.
Kind of
smart idea.
maybe take on some of the ideas of the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, gangs,
Yeah.
Classical gangs, modern gangs, they're the reason why they exist and why their communities allow them to exist and keep recruiting their children and whatnot is because they provide more protection to their community than the police do, and I feel like we can learn a lot of stuff from that.
I agree. And I think if anything taught us this last summer that we need that kind of organization is the riots that happened right here, in our backyard that you were very much a part of. I watched a lot and I got involved in somewhat, but I did see there's definitely, I know of a few places right now that'd be really good meeting places, top secret. And I've thought about that too. I've thought about how do I go around Facebook on the back end on a messenger and just contact the different people I know that would be, gather 20 of us and then start doing that thing where you meet up at a place and you kind of have the biggest guy at the door kind of checking to make sure if anyone shows up, who they're affiliated with. Just make sure we don't get any creepy insurgents coming through, which definitely as things would happen.
Yeah.
It would just be one of those kind of like those old movies you see where they open up the little thing say the password.
A little slot in the door.
I guess it's really not a bad idea. And I think it's probably going to have to happen if anything is going to come of this, if we're going to have any kind of organization.
Yeah.
We will talk aliens, I'm sure, Jessica. I'm sure we'll get to alien talk. That always comes up.
That was Jacob.
Oh, why did I think it say Jessica Ward? Jeez. Hey, sorry, I'm getting names all wrong. You're not my wife, Jacob.
You're on a roll.
Yeah. I wish
Yeah,
you.
sorry, Jacob, you're not Casey's wife.
I wish you were though. Nothing against my wife, but I feel like you'd make a great wife, Jacob. I don't know who you are, but well, you want to talk aliens, and
Yeah, that's in your top 3, right?
that's my top 3. Well, anything paranormal.
Is that number 1?
Number 1 would
Or the
probably be
spirituality?
kind of like philosophical stuff
Yeah.
or philosophy mixed in with psychology is interesting to me.
Uh-huh.
And then like if you go down a notch, maybe it'd be like metaphysical mixed with conspiracy theory, aliens. So I guess politics is more like 3, 4 maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Because anything
They all
else,
have common elements
Yeah.
to it, you know?
They do, and they all tie in really. Like there's a lot of psychology involved with politics, like why certain people.
Oh, absolutely.
And that I do find that interesting. Like why do some people see Trump and like hear angels singing? You know, like how
I mean,
can you?
that's to go back to my point. That's exactly what I was talking about. Like, how can they be so attached to this thing and be so wrong in our vision, and then they look at us and see the exact same wrongness? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just makes me question things. It's just like, how do we know? I mean, this is a very old philosophical question, but how do we know that we're on the right side?
Yeah.
I mean, I always justify it by saying that it's because I care about human beings, their life, their lives, their livelihoods, more than I care about profits and
See, and I don't look at that
stuff
as
like that.
I don't see that as a political stance. It's been made political, but I don't see that. So I think you are on the
Well,
right side.
it is a political stance.
Well, not and they've made it like someone is deciding it is. Unfortunately, like that's just you were born that way, but someone stamped like, well, that makes you a liberal. Didn't someone kind of do that, or am I wrong?
Well, I mean, politics is actually a more broad thing than just like, talking about like bills
Yeah.
and, memorandums and all these other, jargony terms. Like everything is political. That's why when you see
know.
people saying like, not everything has to be political. Why do you have to make everything political? And I feel like that when I'm around my family, I always feel like I always drag it into something, like everything somebody says, and I always feel like I'm such a bore and such a drag because I'm always like, man, I know that that's a common thought right now, but did you think about how like nationalist that is, or like historically what kind of a problem that is? And I always feel bad about it, but everything is political.
I found, yeah, you're right. But that mindset you're coming up against isn't just because you're talking politics. I found people, like, especially if someone is, I noticed there's a lot of people on Facebook that use Facebook as kind of a therapy. And these are repeat offender people that it's just like having a bad day, which turns into having a bad week, which turns into, like, they're basically telling themselves, my life sucks. And it could be just like 15 minutes of that day that something bad happened, but their brain is overthinking and just can't let go of it.
Yeah.
So that same thing could happen with these people they just want to talk politics. They want you to agree.
Yeah.
And if you make them think different about anything or make it so where they may have to change their thought pattern, people just are that inconvenienced by being inconvenienced that they don't want to listen. Because I've found anytime I try to suggest anything positive, because I've just stopped doing it. Now I just I have to ignore these people, and it sucks. Because if you say, because I think that people mainly want you to wallow in misery with them. And
right.
When you don't, if you have I've had this happen so much. Me and my wife talk about this constantly because we're trying to go through this thing where we're like kind of trying to get out of that.
Yeah.
And then we have certain friends that are still really in it. And if we throw out some ideas to them, you'll get generally almost like an offended reaction. Like almost like, and maybe it comes across like, because I try not to come across like, but I'll be like, hey, this works for me. I've tried this and I've got this and that. And usually they'll get like, a laundry list of excuses as to why they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And then back to like, basically they don't want to people get in love with their misery, man.
Oh,
and they make it a part of their identity.
Yeah.
And it's easier to keep that identity of misery than to fucking maybe change or realize it's your mind doing it. It's your connection to your own mind chatter, and there's ways out. Every one of these philosophies I've been getting into, from Carl Jung to Terence fucking McKenna, they all go back to like how the ego is just this beast that like we create this shadow character to live. It's basically like a split personality we've created to survive in this reality, but we become so identified with it and it causes so much suffering because it's always on attack. Yeah. It's always afraid of like, what's going to kill me? What's going to kill me? Is that going to kill me? That's probably going to kill me. And it's just so afraid that you have to learn to detach from it. You have to see the witness behind it. And that's really fucking hard. But it's work you got to do. If you don't do it, you're gonna fucking go crazy. It's like, and a lot of people are going crazy. So, but I don't know. It's rough.
Yeah, I definitely fall into that category of somebody who's like addicted, not necessarily addicted to, but just I feel like I might not be functioning if I'm not in some way miserable. Like I get literally like afraid, like something is wrong, and I get all like, I don't know, aggravated inside when I feel like things are going my way, and
I know.
A lot of it, and this is kind of stupid, but I feel like you hear this a lot, but it might have something to do with the fact that I kind of identify as being a writer,
Yeah.
and I feel like you can't be a writer and be happy, and I know that's not true. I know that's not true. Like my higher brain knows that's not true, but inside I feel like if you're content, you're not going to be able to produce good art.
Fair enough.
There's
a lot of cases for that. There's a lot of cases for artists that, I hear that with comedians too. They're saying like, you can be a good comedian and not have had a hard life, but all the great ones had some sort of turmoil in their life. The ones that really hit to the core. And then usually they kind of self-destruct, like Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison.
Right.
All these great ones.
That's the thing. Yeah. You push it too far.
Yep.
Like I always think about like Hunter S. Thompson, how he always said that he felt this incredible need to be Raoul Duke.
Yeah.
To be his like wild character.
Yeah.
And that he like created his alter ego, and how that like eventually I think it eventually like just kind of took him over. Like he did so much damage to himself.
You hear that with everybody. Jim Morrison had Jimbo. It's like Pearl was Janis Joplin. I mean, there's a split personality that basically
mine's Jerry the Fly. This is my split personality. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's from my first novel. I say that like part of me that was, this is kind of like a semi-fictional novel, but so I say semi-fictional, but like it wasn't me causing me to do all those drugs and fuck up my life. It was Jerry the Fly, who was a scientist that was watching from outside of my body and experimenting on me and my friends by feeding us copious amounts of chemicals.
I mean, there's some accuracy to that in the things I learned. Like, if you ever look into the daemon, which, kind of looks like the word demon, but it's D-A-E, but, it could be where the word demon comes from. A guy named Anthony Peake talks about that quite often, how you basically, we are avatars, and, he likes to use the Tomb Raider. He explains where, like, deja vu comes from and all these things. He's a very scientifically minded guy, and it makes a lot of sense to me. It's not like foo-foo stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you could really have a... Jerry the Fly, is that his name?
Yeah, Jerry the Fly.
You could really have that. There could be a guy. Now, whether he has your best intentions at heart. Now, here's what you got to think. If there are aliens, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we're just in these fucking meat balloons, man, and like we're associating with the meat balloon, but we're not like associating with the air that fills it or the air around it, and we're in misery because we're just like, man, we're just these meat balloons that are gonna pop one day. Like, these aliens could really be looking at us, and you hear a lot of this in DMT stories, like people experiencing things kind of like this.
Yeah.
Where when you confront these beings, which all these stories have in clinical studies, people come across some very high knowledgeable beings, or there's some crazy stories about people coming in contact with higher intelligence.
Yeah, that's a pretty common story.
It's pretty common.
On mescaline, it's a pretty common occurrence where you meet this like plant god, like kind of a cactus god, or sometimes like a mushroom god. It's just like very natural, like it seems like a very like Native American like spirit in the plant that you just consumed, that kind of idea.
Yeah, and a lot of people see the same thing. And then there's the machine elves. There's the shadow people if you're doing meth, which that also ties into some paranormal. But
or salvia. Have you ever done salvia?
I have done salvia.
Oh, that shit sucks. A common theme with that one is you become a tiny little piece in a giant like thing, like you're a little cog in a machine. Like, I did it and had a terrible fucking time. I ended up being a pixel. I was in like a little room, and I was like glowing green, and then I would like change colors, and then I kind of zoomed out from myself, and I was a pixel on like a giant screen.
Damn.
And they were like rocks, like it was like for a rock show, and because like I always had this dream of becoming like a rock, rock star.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah. I think on some level, all of us local musicians want to
we
be
did.
rock stars. Yeah.
It's just levels of how far we've let that go. I mean, at one point I was like, I wouldn't have survived if you didn't tell me I wasn't going to be the next John Lennon. Like I was so convinced through acid at 19 that I am. Yes, of course, I am going to be.
Yeah.
That's what I was born to be. And then now I would just be thankful to
to play a
like,
fucking show.
Anything like just please.
I'd
just
like
let me,
5 audience members.
That's
please.
right. That sounds great right now.
Yeah. I keep thinking back to all those shows that we played when we didn't have anybody in the audience. And I remember being like,
yeah.
I was like, fundamentally, I was like, okay, this is pretty punk rock, we need to play to the empty. And we always did, but there was a part of me that was always doing it kind of begrudgingly.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
But now I'm like, let's do it.
I know, and that will be great if we ever get to do that again.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play shitty shows again.
Yeah, I know. To go on tour and just totally fucking lose money.
Yep.
Oh,
See,
man.
I always felt okay about doing that out of town.
Yeah.
If I went to a new place, because you're still getting the new place, you're still getting the adventure. I always looked at it as just like an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't pay my musicians very well because we never make any money. So it's always got to be like, guys, you kind of got to look at this as a little bit of a vacation.
Yeah.
We're going on. And if I can pay you, I will. But I'm not great at hooking up the money thing because, especially out of town, because if you're going out of town, they don't you're not making money for that bar. Like nobody's fucking heard of you. They're not. And if you are playing a good show, it's because you're sucking off someone else's audience, most likely.
Well,
until
yeah,
you build up.
That's the game. You
game.
find the biggest local that you possibly can that is willing to play with you, and hope that they are cool playing last because that becomes a whole thing usually.
Yep. We started getting. That's what sucked right before this all went down. I started finally getting some New York, Chicago connections, and I was starting to actually get we had.
You had a couple really cool shows, right? You guys did a Cure cover set.
Yep,
right?
but that lady,
sounds so much fun.
That was fun, and the lady that did that though, she was getting us shows for our actual band too. But she was just she's a good promoter. Her name's Megan Panici, and she's really cool. But it just sucks, because I was seeing it. I was like, oh, I'm starting to kind of feel how you can do this. I can get out of Columbus and because that's the thing. Nobody in Columbus is gonna, at least for our experience, nobody here is going to like you until other people like you.
Yeah.
Until other people say you're good, then people start going, oh yeah, we were always behind you. It's like, no, you weren't.
Yeah, right.
No, you fucking weren't. But that's how that goes. I'm not gonna get too bitter on that. But just know I totally understand what you're feeling.
Yeah.
That feeling on stage when there's 3 people and they might not even be into it, and the rest of the band's just kind of because your hopes, or the worst is when the band before you had a crowd.
Yeah.
And you were like, this is going to be a good one, man.
Yep.
And then you get up there, and by the time you set up, you're like, they all left.
Yep.
New York is fucking synonymous with that. There are bars where literally those people are so aware, 11:15 you play, and the minute you're off, we've had packed rooms where we're like, this is good, fucking excited, ooh, New York, man. And then you get up to play, and they're like, everyone fucking left. It is a fucking, they know.
Yeah.
We don't want to see your band. We're not even going to hear one song by your band.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
I've only played one show in New York, and there wasn't even anybody there for any of the bands. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's my fault, though. I always play in really obscure, unpleasant-sounding bands. So.
Oh, yeah, but that's fun. I know. Well, we have the burlesque thing, which you either love it or hate it, and a lot more people hate it than I thought.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially other musicians and things and bars.
I thought that would be like a built-in,
So did I.
Wow.
That's why I did it. And it's a pain in the ass too, because that's just more people that can drop out on you, bail on you.
Oh,
and then once you get the name going, Electro Cult Circus, where you have to have that, it feels weird to not have it.
Yeah.
Because then if you do get a show, they do expect that. We're the belly dancers. So we've had shows where everyone bails, and they're kind of like, oh, this is just another band. Huh?
What is this? Just music?
It's like, yeah, sorry.
Lame.
It's like, I know.
I wasn't here for the music. I was here for the titties.
Yeah, and that's.
It's like we're all here for the titties.
Dude, so much, exactly.
Music exists for the titties.
Titties
Calm
are the
your
reason.
fucking tits and watch some goddamn
calm
titty
the tits,
music.
and you'll get some tits. That's why we learned you don't ever play after all the boobs, because once again, the boobs become the band.
Yeah.
Who we got here? Is that my wife?
That one's your wife.
Okay, hi, honey.
This is your real wife.
Try putting on. Yeah, she gets to be a musician and a burlesque dancer. She does both.
Lucky.
Sorry, I made you dress up last night. We did a little video thing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Are you doing more time travel?
No, we are going to do another one of those. Thanks for being one of the people that watched.
Oh my God, that was so funny. That was so funny.
Thanks, man.
When you described it, I was like, huh, that could either be really awesome or like I imagine because like when you told me the idea of that, and just for the people at home, so he is, or do you want to give the rundown? Since
No,
it's
you
your
go
thing?
ahead. I like hearing you say it.
Okay, yeah. So you told me the idea that you wanted to sit down with your wife and watch like YouTube videos and kind of like trade YouTube videos and
Yeah.
kind of react to that and stuff. And
Yep.
and I had said that my roommates and I had done that, that we did that. And what we did, we played music videos, and we'd try to keep to a theme. Like this one makes me think of this other one.
Yeah.
But as the night went on and we got more and more drunk, we started doing like pulling up videos that we knew that somebody was gonna hate, and it just turned into
that's
like
the
a
best.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
war.
Oh, I love that.
So I was thinking like it could be really really fun and entertaining, or it could be like it could go wrong. I think depending on how much you
could.
hate the people you're around.
I know.
But you and your wife clearly love each other.
We do.
And it's beautiful and hilarious.
We
All of
do.
it.
We
Very
do
funny.
like to annoy I like the whole. I love to annoy her though. It feels so
I
good.
can tell you
Yeah.
farted
I
directly.
farted directly in her face, which I didn't mean for it to be that stinky. It was more the sound that was supposed to be funny. But man, did that one smell. That was legit. Like, I'm glad you. I didn't think. Yeah, I think you're the one person that was watching at that moment because
Oh,
we're like,
I actually didn't see it live.
Oh,
I
okay.
watched it after it was
sweet.
after it was over. I didn't get the notification or anything.
Oh well.
Yeah, actually, it was Alex that pulled it up, and I was like, "Man, this is really good."
Thanks, guys.
I was brought in immediately from the intro because it like goes on for like way too
Yes.
long. Is that intentional?
Yeah, Jessica thought that part.
Yeah, okay. I love intros that are way too long.
Yep.
I think that's the funniest shit.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Too Many Cooks?
Too Many Cooks?
Yes, that's
Yes.
kind of where we. And then Tim and we know Tim and Eric does that a lot too.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
the beginning of their movie, they do that thing where it's like, fucking Tim and Eric production. Like they do like 30 of those things, like brought to you by Schlang, and like it's just what the
Yeah.
fuck. We're thinking of doing something sort of like that, but it was fun. We're gonna do more. The problem is putting it up on YouTube. Half those videos got dinged. So we need to find videos like the seal farting and stuff like that. People don't care about.
Yeah.
But if you use like a video, they are like, nope. So the copyright fucked that all up. So we're now going to actually start trying to pull from probably local musicians and artists and
Oh, that'd be cool.
comedians
Do
and
kind of
just
like a showcase.
yeah.
That'd
Just
be
wait,
cool.
that way we'll do that and then add in the weird videos and then show ones we've done. But yeah, we're going to keep doing it. It's fun. Hey, it's the dude from the band Reflex Machine. That's right.
Wait, where?
Yeah, where? Right there, right behind you.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yep, Jerry the Fly. He's the trombonist for the famous ska band Reflex Machine.
Oh, I love those guys. That is a great band, by the way. Your band's great. I miss
Aw,
it.
thanks. We started to get on this thing. I don't even know if you had seen us when we started doing this, but we kind of, after we did our big album, because we finally released an LP, and what we did for that is we like locked ourselves down here in the basement and wrote it all in 5 days.
Oh, cool.
And put a lot of time into, I guess it's not a lot of time because it's only 5 days.
Still,
So
though.
not a lot of time, but a lot of thought. Like it was like pretty much like 24, not 24 hours because we did have to sleep in there, but we did have some assistance in not sleeping.
There you go.
But yeah,
like
we
the Allman
put a lot
Brothers.
of we put a lot of brain cells into it, and then like a month or two later we recorded it,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
we pretty much like some things were like practiced to an extent, but for the most part it was just like a studio experiment. You know what I mean? It was just like all studio. So that's why it feels. I enjoyed the process of it, but if I were to do it again, I'd want to like, write it in 5 days and then tour on it and like kind of
Yeah.
practice it and get it good and tight because
Yep.
it's pretty loosey goosey. But we did spend a lot of time on that album and we put a lot of money into it. Like if you go in that room over there, we just have boxes and boxes of LPs.
We do too.
And,
Leftover
yeah,
because we never got
like
to
so
tour on
many.
ours either. Really.
Right.
We did like
Yeah.
maybe a couple months, but it wasn't much.
Yeah.
And that takes years to get rid of those fucking CDs.
Yep.
I know.
Well,
Man,
ours are records.
Oh, Jesus
They're
Christ.
records. They're
So
even
that's
more expensive.
Very
yeah.
expensive.
Oh yeah, just boxes
Holy
of them.
shit.
We're never gonna get rid of them, and it's fine. It's whatever.
Damn.
But,
I'll buy one off you, man.
Oh, thanks.
For real,
I'll
because we
give
love.
you one.
I'll buy one. I'd like to buy one because we have an album collection and I've got some local stuff and I've always liked your stuff quite a bit. See, I think the
Thanks.
stuff that you do in the studio, so I've found like the stuff me and Folker would kind of do. We'd always just kind of find a beat we like and build on it, almost like we didn't know if it was going to go on the album. But then by the end, it became like for some reason like one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Like I have 2 or 3 on those that that we didn't plan to but we made them as we went. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Listening to those, they sound more like what I actually wanted to go towards.
I like it.
Because the other stuff,
It's
the other
fun.
stuff almost felt too much like, oh, here I'm. It's a song that sounds like what we would play. I love vinyl. Yeah, Jessica does love vinyl. Well, there you go. We got two people right here.
Hey, I
Joey
sold
wants
some.
one. Yeah, this is how you do it. Use this platform, man. We'll talk politics.
Buy my shit.
Yep. Like we all know what's coming politically. I mean, I have been dreading three things: going to the DMV Saturday morning. I don't know why. I'm over. I just hate it. I'm gonna.
It's so much worse now because you have to stand outside in the heat.
I know, and I don't know if I have any of the proper shit. That I'm probably gonna get there, and they're probably gonna say. Yeah, it
dude,
sucks.
make sure you check because they have a new kind of license coming out in October of next year. But basically, if you want to get on a plane after October of next year, I believe, like you have to have a different kind of license. So I have to go back and get another one, even though I just got one.
God damn.
Because they updated to a different kind. So it's like double secure, I guess, and you need like 2 forms of ID.
I'm just gonna drive places.
So-
I'm not getting on any planes probably.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Because I like to drive anyways. But
Okay.
I'd rather. I'm gonna take a train. I want to go on a train trip.
I think I don't know if it's just planes. It might be like
could
traveling.
be trains too.
Yeah,
It probably will be.
yeah. I'm just saying, like, all you have to do is just bring an extra thing, and then you don't have to deal with it.
Are you gonna get the COVID vaccine if it comes or when it comes?
Yeah, absolutely. No. You know what? I think I'm going to rely on herd immunity. I heard immunity is the way to go.
Are you gonna wait for the first batch to go out and make sure everyone's okay, or are you just going right in the first line? Are you getting right in line?
I'll whenever it's available. I mean, I don't see what the point is in
When
like,
do you-
dragging it out.
When do you think it'll be available? Do you have any kind of theories on that?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, the FDA has said that they were pushing out something.
Called a real idea.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Andrew. It's called the Real ID.
Oh God! So you got to go back too, Jessica. Looks like okay. Let's figure out, Eric and everybody. Let's figure out a way to sell these albums and CDs. There should be like a group of like, hey, everybody, let's go door to door and just
Door
like
to door.
it's like become door to door
Yeah.
local music salesmen.
We'll hand out anarchist pamphlets and records.
Yeah.
Of
you get one. You
just awfully abrasive music.
and we'll be like, we'll take donations, $5, and we'll leave your door. It'd be kind of like
Pay me to leave your
yeah.
doorstep,
a
then.
little bit of extortion. Water's
Man.
still good. It's been here for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think
water
you
go
brought
bad?
that. You brought that
Took
on the
first-
first day.
I know.
I think, right?
Yeah, I've almost finished the
That's
bottle.
like that was like 3 weeks ago, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
I'm being very conservative with my water.
That's good. That's good.
My wife would say this is bad to drink because the plastic has become plasticified or something, but I don't know.
I think it's okay if it's not out in the sun.
Oh, there you go. That's what it was because that one
Yeah.
was in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, the sun goes through the plastic and irradiates the water.
It tastes good still.
That's good. Well, it's Aquafina. That's the best quality water there is.
Oh, is it? Oh, good.
I'm just kidding. I have no fucking idea. It's probably just tap water.
I believe a lot of what you say. I just automatically assume you're smarter than me. I'm
Yeah,
going to listen to you.
I had somebody listen to our podcast, and I was asking for feedback, and they said, well, it seems like there's a lot of good information in there, but you're really sarcastic, and sometimes I can't tell when you're joking.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, that's interesting,
Yeah.
because I am a very like dryly sarcastic. Like I just say things very
Yeah, you can say it.
the same kind of way that I say
yeah.
actual facts.
And it's weird because my dad had a friend just like that whom I loved because of that, and you'd think I'd be able to like handle it, but I still can't catch it. And my wife has this problem where she's sarcastic, but like everything she says, even if she's genuine, sounds sarcastic.
Yeah.
So you're like, why'd you? And she's like,
yeah.
no, I really meant it.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
really
God.
like it. I'm like, what?
My friend Lou is that way.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
I had the hardest time, like, before we were, like, really good friends, every time we'd hang out, I was like, is this kid fucking making fun of me? Everything he said, he's like, no, I think it's really cool that you're a writer. And I'm like, you're such an asshole.
Love you, honey. You ever
I
see
love
that,
you, Lou.
You ever see that Kids in the Hall where the guy's like, I really want to be your friend. He's like, this is just a speech impediment. The guy's like, you don't have to be an asshole. He goes, what? Don't leave. Please. I can never make friends. Because that's how he talks.
Oh,
It's
my
funny,
goodness.
Funny shit.
Hey, well, I think this is probably a good time to do the unveiling, I think.
God, yeah.
So you guys are in for a treat.
Yep.
And those of you who are just listening on the podcast, you should go right now to youtube.net, the real YouTube, and pull up the Rad Left's channel and click on this video because you are about to be blown away.
Yeah, this is for all the bootlickers out there.
Yeah,
It's a new group.
It's the hit single from the super rap duo
Run DMC.
DMC.
And then they're going to be the next Run the Jewels.
Yep. All right, everybody prepare your buttholes.
God damn it. Let's get into it.
Anabolic beats.
You say he didn't comply, he deserves to die. My uncle's on the force, he's a really good guy. Black lives matter, but what about white? Everyone's racist, so why even try? He was reaching for a gun, I saw it on tape. Fedora wearing asshole who likes to vape. You're a cop apologist. A cop apologist. You're a cop apologist. That's right, cop apologist. Respect the law, unless it's for a mask. Fuck the police, you can kiss my ass. Watch Indiana Jones and you rooted for the Nazis. You like the right to vote, but only by proxy. Voting for Trump to make America great. You use religion to conceal your hate. You're a cop apologist. You're a cop apologist. That's right, a cop apologist. You're a cop apologist. Damn! You're a cop apologist. You're a cop apologist. You're a cop apologist. You're a cop apologist. Ah!
That was great. That was fun to do.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Yeah, this was all Casey's idea, folks.
Oh, well.
That was his brainchild.
Yeah, but you made the song happen to where it sounded like a thing that could be a song. I can't do that. I just made words rhyme and wore a giant clock.
Yeah.
And shiny. Thanks, honey. You're my favorite thing
Aw, that's
on the
so
planet.
sweet.
So yeah, guys, what are your thank you? Who's that?
That's Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
All the way from...
Best fashion choices.
yeah.
You do look like MCA in like Paul's Boutique era MCA. I can show you pictures.
Oh, yeah?
It's really weird. You look just like him, like the goatee and everything. So that's when they do about hey ladies. I don't know if you're a Beastie Boys fan, but
I like him. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that I am overly familiar with their catalog or listen to them regularly, but I never change the station when they come on.
yeah, they were good. Like when we were young, they were like the thing that they had some humor. They had political stuff going on. They were like it sounded really cool at the time. It's a little dated sounding now, and sometimes I feel a little bit like too white listening to them. You know, I'm like,
it's a pretty white.
pretty white.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they're
pretty white.
Jewish dudes, and
Yeah.
but there's still like when you read their book and stuff, and some of the things they went through. Like it's just cool shit. Like before they're even famous, like they're all partying with the Clash and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they just got lucky and that was like their favorite band. So I like when I see a lineage of things. Like today, or what did I see last night? I saw one of my favorite like thinkers. Goddamn, like they went to school with like Nietzsche had taught them everything, and then they, I'm missing a name. It should one of my people I'm getting into lately. I'm late on the philosophy thing, man. I never went to college, so I'm learning all the philosophy from YouTube, and like
Yeah.
I do find it fascinating. Like now that I actually can learn what I want to learn, like this stuff's fucking amazing. Have you heard about like the Red Room, Carl Jung stuff? Like his whole Red
No.
Room theory. It's supposedly really scary shit.
All I know of him is his the collective consciousnness and whatnot.
Yeah, I know
It's
some
more
of it.
like hippy dippy stuff.
Yeah. He's got some real dark stuff too. Apparently,
What's the Red Room? That sounds interesting.
I'm just being told it's like the scariest book ever, and it has to do with like the devil and Jesus, and like just how like Jesus is the devil, and like just it's weird. Like our brains created this Jesus character because the way we I got it. It's hard to. I'm gonna have to. I'll do more research and get back to you on that one.
I'm picturing like some Twin Peaks shit there.
Yeah,
with
I know
like,
the red room.
The
Like
red room in
this
that.
is a formica table. That is a creepy scene right there.
Yeah.
Were you a Twin Peaks fan?
You know what? Honestly, and I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but no.
Yeah.
My complaint about it is it's literally an aesthetic one, and it's an intentional aesthetic that they were going for, or that he was going for, but it's why it bums me out. It's just the whole vibe of it. This like 90s, like early 90s, like TV, like cop drama thing. It just weirds me out. I grew up going over to my grandma's house all the time, and she would watch shows that were legitimately like that.
Yep.
And it just gives me this weird feeling, and I know it's supposed to.
But
I just don't like that feeling.
Yeah,
and that's not to
sometimes-
say that I don't like his movies because or his like stuff because I love his movies. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
I see what you're talking about because horror movies are supposed to give you a certain feeling too, and
yeah,
I genuinely don't like horror movies because I just don't want to feel like that. I think because as I get older too, life is becoming more of a horror film.
Yeah.
So I don't want that for escape.
Yeah.
Like I think Patton Oswalt once said, like, it used to be life was boring, so we had for escape you'd like Sylvester Stallone on a fucking building blowing somebody up, but now it's like for escape we want to just watch someone like read a
Say
book.
hello to my little friend.
Yeah, like say it like things are getting too crazy. So like
Yeah.
you
Now
know,
we're all saying hello to everybody's little friends, and I'm tired of seeing
we're tired of
people
it.
blowing people away for drugs.
Yes, we don't want to. Now we need. That's why I think there's a lot more subtle. Like people watch people unwrap things on YouTube. And
Oh,
it's
yeah,
calming.
unboxing videos. Yeah.
It's like, and I kind of get it.
Yeah, dude. The biggest pastime that I've had, and it is what kept me up super late last night too, is I watch people play video games. Like
yeah.
I've been watching a lot of people playing StarCraft. I really like
Yeah.
that game.
I didn't understand that at first. Our bass player is way into it. He
Yeah.
streams, and my kid is into it. But starting to kind of get it. It's a calming
fun,
thing.
yeah.
It's like a call. Like it's not because
Yeah.
it's super riveting.
Yeah.
It's because it's like you're in like kind of
You're
you
just
can
vegging out.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at video games. I'm like awful at them. So I like watching people who are good at video games.
Oh, I see what you-
So
yeah.
I'd
just
always
like
have my
sports.
friends play when they'd be like, "Hey, you want to come over and play video games?" I'd say yes, and I'd go over and I'd just let them play, which they were fine, because everybody just wants to play.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to watch, so that's always been kind of my thing. I'm kind of like a video game cuck.
That's the next rap song. Video game
Yeah.
cuck. It's a video
I'm a
game
video game
cuck.
cuck.
Video game. That's a hard one to
Yeah,
get.
that's-
Video game
Cuck.
cuck.
Yeah, then there's
We'll
a
get it.
pause there for that. Yeah, we'll just have it in a different time signature. It's
Yep.
fine.
Gotta wait till something weird happens in the video game world that we can talk about. I'm sure
Yeah.
there'll be something sexist going on.
Oh yeah,
That's their
there's
big.
usually there's all kinds of drama in the video game world, especially in the streaming world.
Oh yeah. There's kind of drama everywhere, and there probably always has been. And it's just now that we have this technology to where we can see everything going on that it seems so much more horrible. But
Yeah.
like if you look back, I mean, I'm constantly learning about things back in the past. Like just the other day, I saw, in like the 40s or something, there was a carnival game that was called Hit the N Baby, the N-word baby. Hit the N-word
I
baby.
saw that.
And they would literally
Yeah.
have, black people that the kids would be throwing shit at them.
Yep.
And that's messed up right there.
Yeah.
But that was a common thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. What do you
Yep.
think will be things that like in the future we look back and like we're gonna say, wow, they did that? I think one of them would be definitely the trans movement. I think that in the future it's going to get. Duncan Trussell talks about this a lot. These are not my ideas really right here, but I think he makes a good point. He says we're going to it's going to get so easy to change what you are in the future. It's going to become so like you can press a button and be a freaking camel for a
Yeah.
day or some. So people that tried to fight this are going to look really stupid.
You look really silly. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see, especially, I mean, that it's easy to like point at the things that the right is having a problem with, but
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see the issues that we're gonna have with like the leftist movements.
Yep.
Because I really really like Jack Kerouac, but he is such a problematic person if you were to judge him by today's standards, which
yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I think we should always be holding people to the highest standards we can. But like, back when he wrote On the Road, that was progressive as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
there was nothing out there like that. And they actually had like, him and his, the other Beats they had like decency trials, like William Burroughs, his Naked Lunch, got like it was about to be banned for being indecent, and then he won that case, which was like a landmark case for the freedom of speech. So because before then, like Lady Chatterley's Lover, I'm trying to think of the other books that were banned that got unbanned after that. But yeah. Anyway, so those were like groundbreaking progressive people. But if you look at them by today's standards, like it's very problematic. Like Jack Kerouac was a raging misogynist.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just really bad. And he, in the book, a lot of people kind of gloss over this, but he went to Mexico and like had sex with a 14 or 15-year-old Mexican prostitute and like wanted to like bring her back to the States and like save her from the life of being a prostitute, and then just absolutely didn't.
Weird.
But still, like,
it's very strange.
Had sex with her and felt like that he was like doing a good thing by thinking about saving her and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just very problematic. I mean, I love it for what it was historically, but it just makes me curious to see what the things that we're talking about on a regular basis. Like,
I know
be
he's
like,
going to be.
Oof, yikes.
Yep.
Like even looking back at my first book, going back talking about Jerry the Fly there. My first book is problematic as fuck. I would, if any of my friends read it, I'd get canceled immediately, like for sure. Like it's awful.
I love your anti-poetry, by the way.
Thank you.
That's what first I learned about you.
Yeah.
And actually, I'd love to film you doing some of that for our YouTube thing or whatever, or somehow, or if you have any videotape of you doing that. I'm sure I do from our show. I'll just find it. I'll just put some of that on there.
Yeah,
I remember people walking out. We got people yelling at you.
Yeah, that time. We had people yelling at me.
That was fun.
Yep.
That's when I learned we both have a penchant for that. Not everyone has a penchant for that.
Yeah.
Kind of wanting to make people angry at you. It's like a weird kink.
Well, see, it's like a lot of people don't understand this stuff. Is like I'm saying horrible things to poke to show that like it's a horrible thing. Like it's not like I'm believing these things. Like this the thing that the person had a problem with at your show was the fact that I said cunt.
Yeah.
And they had a huge problem about that with that.
We were, honey. We were talking about it. She loves it too. But yeah, I found that out too. If you listen to like the comedian Jim Jeffries,
oh yes,
he uses the word cunt. It's hey, you cunt, and it's fine. But in America, it's got a real and that when you were talking about Jack Kerouac, I find this interesting. Like at that time, the writers, like at one time, philosophers were like the rock stars. And when I say rock stars, it's the people everyone went to kind of as a cultural landmark. Like, these people are the ones kind of deciding the tone. And like writers at that time seemed to be, and then it kind of seemed to go to, I think comedians have different times where, there was the whole, who's the guy that started being able to cuss on stage? God dang it,
are you thinking of the?
I'm missing his name. Damn it, I'm doing this.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. He got arrested all the time.
Yeah,
Is that what you're
arrested.
talking about?
Lenny Bruce.
Lenny Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe
me too.
I forgot that.
It's like the moment. It's more that your brain is thinking about how you forgot it.
Yeah.
And I can't. It's like I'm freaking out. Like, oh no, I'm freaking.
Panic.
How long is this gonna last?
Yeah.
Like I look like an idiot.
Everyone's gonna think I'm dumb.
It's on a live broadcast.
They're gonna figure it out.
Oh no. No, luckily we just tell people right up front we're dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Takes
Disclaimer:
all the pressure
everything
off.
I say is you should definitely fact check it.
I heard that someone in a podcast talking about that. It was actually Jason Bateman. I don't know if you're a fan, but
I love Jason Bateman.
I do too. And they were saying, why do you? Because he's got a podcast called Smartless, and they're like, why are you like you're a very smart guy? Why do you come out? And he goes, because if I came out with a podcast called I'm the smartest guy in the world, then exactly. Then you got it. Like that's a lot of work. But if I just come out and say I'm dumb, and I happen to be. That's why I never call myself a comedian, because if I happen to be funny,
then that's great.
The pressure, like if you hang out with comedians, especially a group of comedians, sometimes it's just like, guys, we get it. Like you're funny. Like you got
to hang out with improvisers.
Yeah, is it different?
Oh, it's so much different because I mean, if you're an outsider, you might not think it's funny. You probably think it's annoying, but improvisers are able to just endlessly make each other laugh. They just get into these bits, and we just get stuck in it.
But is it pressure to be funny all the time?
No.
That's good.
Because actually, one of the rules of improv is don't try to be funny.
Oh, there you go.
You should not ever, when you're doing improv, you should never be trying to be funny, because that's not funny. Nobody wants to see somebody. I mean, unless you have pre-written jokes that you've like tested and stuff. You know what I mean? But that's different.
I have a big list of Oh, it's just so much easier to
Oh,
be so,
yeah.
yeah. We all try. Yeah,
Nick says, "Oh no, you've stumbled on my secret. It's so much easier to be so dumb."
yeah.
I mean, and we should all be that way.
It's humbling.
This is actually one thing that I wrote down in case we didn't have something to talk about, which is an asinine thought that you and I wouldn't be able to just shoot the shit for
You never know.
45 minutes. But one of the things I wrote down is just this idea that like you can know something is like absurd to me. And I've gotten into a couple like pretty intense conversations with my friends recently because like talking about like determinism and talking about science and how certain we are in science. Not that I'm knocking science or like saying religion is a way to go, over
Right.
that we should be listening to evangelical shit over science. I'm not saying that at all because it is the best conclusions we have based on the evidence that we've seen so far.
And
as
they
humans.
both have dogmas attached to them. That if you
Absolutely.
question those dogmas,
Yeah,
and that
you
happens.
can be ostracized.
Yeah.
Like they killed Aristotle because he said that the Earth wasn't the center
Yeah.
of the universe. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, and it's and I'm not trying to be anti-intellectual either. Like I'm just saying, being certain, being so overly confident in anything is a dangerous game to play.
It
and
is.
I think it would behoove the more intelligent of us to know, like, okay, so I am, I have the capability of thinking through things, but I should not just, think through a thing and then stop thinking. I saw a study once that said that people with higher IQs are less likely to change their what they believe based on facts. Isn't that strange?
So that seems like to me they would have lower IQs.
It's that you're smart enough to know that you're smarter than the average person or whatever,
Yeah.
or you're smarter than someone.
Huh.
That you think that everything that you think must be right because you're smart, and
Oh, that's rough.
that just makes you dumb.
A lot of smart people kill themselves too, though. They say highly intelligent people are more likely to commit suicide because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a lonely. Because you're.
Was
if
that Albert Einstein who said that like what he said, like happiness is like a rarity among
yeah.
the intellectual.
Which to me that goes along with what do you define intelligence as? Because
Right.
to me,
Yes.
a fucking dog, rolling around in its own shit could be happy as a dog rolling
Yeah.
around in its own shit.
Right.
So
Is it really smart?
I know.
Is it really smart to question
Yeah.
everything you do as like an existential thing?
Yep.
To know at every moment that like to be questioning what is the meaning behind all of this?
Yep.
Does that help your everyday life?
I
And if
know.
it doesn't help your everyday life, is that really smart?
Yeah. Because once again, just like with politics, the more I learn about reality, the more frightening and amazing it is.
Yeah.
You get that side of it. I'm yet to find something really inspiring about politics, except for when like a Bernie or an AOC comes along. It's rare. Or sometimes I'll find like an old Kennedy speech or something. And I'm like, God damn, those
Yeah.
speeches are pretty fucking inspiring. But mostly right now, politics is really bumming me out.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I'm inspired by the fact that there are people on the ground floor. Like, I know it's stupid, but it's not. We don't really have anywhere else to go. But like people on Facebook, like I don't know. I'm in a bunch of leftist Facebook groups, and in the last week I've pretty much gotten off of Facebook almost altogether. I deleted the app. Every once in a while I'll go on my browser or something, but
Yeah.
I had to cut that shit out.
that's
But
smart to do.
yeah, but there are like these really funny and inspiring leftist circles that
There you go.
that they're just like, you know what? Capitalism is a drag, man.
Yep.
And I think that might be why politics can't be inspiring for us a lot of the time
Yep.
because it's just drudgery. It just
Yeah.
promotes toiling.
Like when you watch like the channel CNN, like I behoove anyone to sit there and actually not fall asleep. But I've learned a long time ago, they want this to be boring.
Yes.
They want this to be the
Yes.
driest because because then you're just gonna.
They want to be the only people who are able
Yeah.
to do it. They're like,
Yep.
it's weird to make a biblical reference, but like the Pharisees, I guess it's not biblical, I guess it's historical, but like, yeah, the Pharisees, were the only people that could read the scripture.
Yep.
So they controlled all of the thought
Yep.
that came from the scriptures. And we know
Yep.
how religious folk like to cherry pick
Yep.
and manipulate and twist
Yep.
these ancient texts to fit whatever their agendas are.
Yeah, King James, all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just the way that they can just keep retranslating. There's 200 translations of the English Bible.
That
Just
doesn't surprise
English,
me.
200.
That's why I'm down with Gnostic Jesus. I like
Yeah.
the Gnostic version of him. He was very pagan and very cool. in my
Is that
opinion,
like those
if he was
the
even
missing,
real.
the missing
Kind
books?
of. He just is like the thing before they came along and fucked it all up. And
Yeah.
basically, the whole thing he's saying is like, you don't need a church to worship me. You can worship me within yourself. If he puts the
Yeah.
power into you, because all religion is doing is they try to make you feel guilty about your own nature of things, and then they try and use that against you. Like,
Yeah.
well, you need us
Yeah.
to cleanse you, even though you're not really dirty. We're
Yeah.
telling you you're dirty. Because, you thought about sex, a natural thing, or you want this, or you want that, or you're feeling these thoughts that we are totally feeling too, but
Yeah.
we're just hiding from you. You know that shit.
Yeah. That actually leads into the next point that I had written
There we go.
down. So, and this is another thing I've gotten into kind of into driven conversations with my friends recently. The idea of human nature. Because one of the biggest arguments, and I was a huge I said this myself. One of the biggest arguments against communism or anarchism is that it would never work because people are corrupt. And anybody in any form of power will be greedy about it and will be corrupted by that power. No matter like that, that's just what we've been told, and I believed it.
Yeah,
and I think that's
believed
just
it
a
too.
common
Could
thing.
be a cop out, yeah.
And I've been reading like Emma Goldman and a lot of these people, and I'm like questioning that. Like I'm questioning it. Like just because we're run by a very small minority, this country is run by a very small minority of sociopaths.
Yeah.
That does not mean that everybody would be corrupted by power.
Yep.
And furthermore, what if what if we de-incentivize, having power?
Yeah.
I had the idea the other day. I thought it would be funny if we that the CEO or the owner of a company cannot make any more than their lowest paid employee.
That's awesome. That'd be great.
Right? Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be that would mean a couple of things. Nobody would want to be the boss, because that's just the boss. So nobody would want to be the boss. They'd make other people be the boss.
I already don't want to be the boss.
Yeah, right. But and this is kind of like how the anarchy works. What if we were all the boss? Then it's like all of a sudden there is no boss. Now we're just all in control or have an equal say.
Or the
in
incentive
our
is
own lives.
like Star Trek. The incentive is like I get the feeling. I don't think they ever touch on it in Star Trek, but the feeling is they're all basically making like a universal income of some sort. Like
Yeah.
it's not because I think they've implied this. The real Trekkies have implied.
Yeah, they
So-
don't have money.
They don't really have money, but everything
Yeah,
they do
they're-
is for the betterment of human. Like they all know, like, oh well, you're the best at flying the ship. You're the best at taking care of the fucking whatever, and you're the logical one. Like they all
Yeah.
find your strengths and the thing you naturally want to do, and they're like, well, must be what you were put here to do.
Yeah.
And I think the Native Americans kind of used to do something like that too. They'd find the person that was the strongest dreamer, and they would listen to that person. They didn't cut them off or put them in insane asylums or call them
It's
crazy.
like a meritocracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Because I found that, like, with my son being out of school, like, he's really drawn to certain things, and I just let him have that. I'm like, why fight? I mean, I'm learning, at this in my 40s, like, the things I've probably always been interested in, but because I didn't get a chance to just find it on my own, they were, you're being forced all this just stuff. I've still yet to use algebra, man. I had nothing in my mind, and
Yeah.
I knew it at the time. I was like, this is a waste of time. This is
Yeah.
not for me and my path. I'm telling
Right.
you. But no, I got to listen to you. And my math teacher had very bad breath, and he was always over my shoulder, critiquing I would be drawing.
Yeah.
I got kicked out for drawing. Anyways.
Yeah, man. And I think this goes back to a point you were making earlier about what is IQ anyway.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, and I think we've talked about it before, but the speech by David Foster Wallace, This is Water,
Yeah.
in that he talks about if you were to judge the ability of a fish to climb a tree, you would think that fish was stupid.
Yeah.
You would think it was incapable. You'd think it was handicapped.
Yeah, and that intelligence, it is a human construct, just like money.
Yeah.
Like there's that saying, Alan Watts talks about, if you were on an island and you had a bunch of money, it would be worthless.
Yeah.
So we put, it's just like the menu represents the food. That's what money just represents wealth, but wealth's an idea.
Yep.
And wealth can be so many things, but we think of it as actual
Yep.
green paper.
Right.
How many of those things do you have?
So what if it's not that humans will always be corrupt if put into a position of power? What if it's more like in a system that we have 100% built on the idea of like an individual hoarding as much wealth, and the whole idea is to keep as many people down so you can get up as possible, maybe judging humanity off of people living in that system is not exactly a telling.
Yeah.
It's not exactly defining
No.
human.
It's like judging humans how they would act
Yeah.
in a hostage situation. It's like that's not supposed to be normal life, but we've
Right.
gotten so used to this hostage situation that you're. I mean, the anxious ridden ego thing, demon thing, that whatever the fuck we've created,
Yeah.
is not probably really ourselves. We're going full circle here. That's not us. That's what society has created. We have had to create it out of survival. So
Yeah.
really, nothing is anyone's fault. You have had to create this to survive, and yes, there's times where it's our choice on whether to think more towards fear or love. There's that whole, Bill Hicks thing about like if you're choosing love, you can't be choosing fear at the same time. You can only choose one. That is a choice we make every day. And there are things out there in books. I'm reading one. The Eckhart Tolle one's really good because that thing you were saying about being able to change your mind or being able to admit you're wrong. That is such an ego battle right there.
Yeah.
But it is so important to be like, it is okay to be wrong. Like,
Yeah.
man, I was thinking about something yesterday and I was just fucking with me. This time I just got embarrassed because I just looked like a jackass. And I was just thinking about it. And I'm like, why does this still bug me so much? But I'm like, it's my fucking ego.
Yep.
He got served something. He got served the fact that you weren't the coolest guy in the room. Other people looked at it. It served all your fears. It was like,
Yeah.
you look like a jackass. And even then, I may not have even looked like as bad a one as I thought.
Probably not. No,
Probably
there's
not.
the spotlight
Yep.
effect or whatever.
Yeah, but
we
it-
all think
yeah.
that everybody is noticing
Yep.
us
You do,
fucking
yes.
up. Yeah.
And that's part of it too, is nobody is thinking about you as much as you are.
Right.
And everyone assumes that they are.
Yeah.
You can see those posts on Facebook every day, like, dude, I got my own problems, kid.
Yeah.
Like, I love you, but but then you want to think about people, you want to help them out. But that stuff's so interesting to me. And then, yes, intelligence right there.
Yeah.
So what if I spent all my time learning how to play football? Yeah, I'd hope I'd be good. I mean, I spent most of my time trying to play guitar, and I will admit I'm barely good at it. I do think I'm an okay songwriter.
Yeah.
But that's really what I focused on. I wasn't like Jimi Hendrix sleeping with my fucking guitar, or some people just have that knack of they just know how to. They
Yeah.
practice their scales. I never was one of those guys.
Yeah.
I just I like to feel, if I can get a couple chords in there, I feel pretty good. But anyways, that's what I put all my energy towards. You'd hope I'd be somewhere in that region, but people that haven't done that, they come along and I've seen them. We're like, man, I wish I could do that. I'm like, well, you could.
Yeah, you
Anyone
literally
can.
can, yeah.
Yes, I learned how to drive a forklift last year. Something I never wanted to do, never thought I would do, but I just did it because financially I needed to. And by the end of the year, I can now say I drive a forklift. Not something to be super proud of, but just showing you how
any
you can learn
accomplishment. We
anything.
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it's super classist to say that there's no value in that kind of stuff.
I know. Yeah,
like,
true.
Our Alex and I recently quit from that the screen printing.
Yeah, I was
job
gonna
that we
maybe
had.
ask you about that, but I didn't know if you wanted to.
We quit because I pretty much quit in solidarity because the boss. It's a long story, but the new owner of the shop, told Alex that he wasn't gonna pay him anymore, like a livable wage, because it's a no-skill job. He said it's a no-skill job.
So wait, so he was expecting him to work for free?
No. I mean, like he was making an amount of money, and we have, ever since we've been doing a lot of research into socialism and whatnot, we've been trying to, work on class consciousness.
Yeah.
And so we went around and asked everybody what they made, and we found out that we were making grossly less than
Oh, wow.
what everybody else was making.
Oh, wow.
Even less than the people that we replaced. So,
Isn't that funny right there? How that's such a taboo to even ask
Yeah.
people what they make,
Uh-huh.
and there's a reason that's a taboo.
they love that.
Yeah.
That feels weird.
It's just
they
like
love it.
why you shouldn't talk politics. It's like, well, yeah, we should totally talk politics because
Yeah.
we need to see where everyone stands. Because
Yeah.
if not, you're just going to keep getting served in the ass.
Yeah.
But like same thing there. Like that's become a taboo. Like don't ask people. That's not polite to ask what I make. Someone can say that.
Yeah.
Oh, why? What are you hiding? I'll tell you fucking anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make
I've never
jack
had a
shit.
problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been yelled at a lot at jobs. Like when I was younger, I'd be like, "How much you were making?"
Yeah.
But
great.
it's like, hey, if I'm going to be in prison, I'm going to ask everybody what they're in for. Like,
Exactly.
that's part of the fun, right?
You are in prison too.
Yeah, I am.
We are.
That's why I'm asking everybody what you're in for. How much you making?
That's what I love about you, James. And I saw that in you very early. I saw that I don't give a fuck character, and it's a little bit insane. What you've done is you ever had a lucid dream?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you did that here, and I noticed that, and LSD actually helped me with this because I got to a point. My lowest depression probably came junior, sophomore year. I didn't like how I looked. I felt like, and it was showing. Like, if you look at pictures of me then, I just look like this. I just look horrible.
Like
but
miserable.
Yeah, and I'm just very like, I'm horrified because I mean I want to have sex so bad with a woman, and I feel like shit. But I'm doing art and things, but like I just can't find my look.
Yeah.
Like I did a thing where I used to grease my hair back, and it was just bad. Anyways, it was just a rough time. A lot of pimples.
Yeah. I went through that stage of the gel in your hair back.
Yeah, just awkward phase. But I did not take it well, and I still sometimes slip back into that, like thinking it's like a nightmare feeling of like, oh God, I'm still that guy, and in some ways I am. But LSD really fucking helped me because it got me back to like. Just like, holy shit, this shit's amazing, and I can do anything. And then, kind of got into the Beatles, kind of went through that thing I told you. I went a little too far over, kind of like got too much of an ego.
Didn't we all?
Yes, yeah. But one thing it did show me is that thing where you can, like I had left so many jobs because most people that are trapped up in that fucking horrible dream cycle where it's like, man, I can't run fast enough. They do that with life where it's like, I can't get out of this. It's like, no, you can.
Yeah.
You just do it. You just tell that person to fuck off and you leave. And I see that in you, and I like that about you, that you can wake up during the dream, which this is a dream, man. I think this is one version of the dream.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of always, and that's kind of what I like. I really like the idea that this is a simulation.
Yeah.
That idea fascinates me.
Me
Not
too.
that it matters. It doesn't matter. Like
No.
that freaks a lot of people out. But it's like, what does it matter if it's a simulation or
And
not?
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because we're in it. Like it doesn't. Like
Still feels really real.
yeah. So I've recently, because I went through a huge nihilist phase because of that. That like, well, nothing is real and nothing matters, and I still believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I still do, but I've taken it to this point now where if nothing matters, nothing you do matters at all, then the only thing you have is your own perception and your own life. And wouldn't you rather live that life like the way that you want to and like helping other people out and like, just because like, how can you feel like a good person at all if you're like, you have all of these privileges and these advantages, but you're not like sharing them with anyone. You're not like living your best life, like you're not being best.
Be best.
Yeah.
Right. Melania knows.
Yeah.
No, what you're saying too, there's that old cartoon that always really helped me too, is there's just two fucking squares, whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Brackets. I don't know what they call them. But the first one, it says, nothing matters, and the person's really depressed. Like, oh, nothing matters. And the next one, it's like, nothing matters.
Yeah.
And the person's like liberated by the concept. And like, that takes a little bit to do. But if you have a penchant towards depression, you're going to go through that. And
just own it.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I was like, man, this all sucks, man. This all sucks, man.
Yeah.
But instead of sitting here, you just repeating that over and over and over again in my head. And don't get me wrong, I get down a lot.
Yep.
Me
too.
I'm not immune to it. I'm a wreck some days. Like, just it gets real bad. But like, overall, I just knowing that, everything sucks so bad that the only thing that matters is like how I am perceiving things and how I'm reacting to things, and what I'm doing. So that's why, I always just if somebody's not doing something, to help me out or, whatever, I feel underrepresented or whatever, then I just go and represent myself. I just go do it myself.
Have you heard much about alchemy or the study of alchemy, or it's a kind
like
of a
turning,
form of stuff into gold
into
or
stuff. Yeah.
Yes, you are an alchemist because you're an artist, and what you're doing it with is emotions. So
emotional alchemy.
It's a real thing. The guy that does the Watchmen series, his name's Alan Moore.
Alan Moore, yeah.
Yeah, he's really into like the magic alchemy kind of thing, and I've been learning a lot of stuff from him. He's a weird fucking guy.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah, he's a weirdo, but I kind of like what he says. Like a lot of weirdos.
Yeah.
But your thing, you're saying like, and so McKenna and all these people last night I went on this really good rabbit hole. I got drunk and I just started watching. Everything started matching up really well with each thing.
Oh, yeah. I love it when that happens.
I love it,
You're
too.
like, man, it's like a conspiracy.
It is, but it was good stuff. It
Yeah,
was like, they kept coming back to the same points. Everyone was saying it a different way. People, like I would go from Alan Watts to Terrence McKenna to fucking goddamn Tolstoy and shit.
Yeah.
But he was saying I can't remember which guy said it. Doesn't matter because we're all the same. But he was saying you need those obstacles. He goes, everything is everything has obstacles, because if you didn't have the obstacles, there'd be nothing to weigh it against. Like there'd be nothing to overcome. So you would just be, It's like if everything was blue, you wouldn't know the color blue.
Right.
Like you got to have the duality in this current simulation. It's part of the game. So when you look at it that way, it isn't as painful.
Yeah.
Like we were watching a thing yesterday talking about how to not let other people bring you down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's really important. I've learned so much in my life who you do align yourself with.
Yep.
And I gotta admit, this quarantine has made me very fucking picky about who I actually want to hang out with and be around. And they just talk, because I've just noticed even in relationships I've been in, how much you don't even know you're becoming like that person you're around. Your energy fields mix, like your energy bodies mix, and you just start getting, like if they're bummed all the time, you start getting anxious and bummed.
There's a lot of leeches, man. They
There's a lot.
they see your positivity, they see your energy, they see your drive, and they attach themselves to you.
Yep.
And they leech your energy off because they want some of that for themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe. But most of the time, it's kind of just that they see that you have a thing and they don't want you to have it.
And they want to
so
bring you down
to their
exactly.
level. Yeah.
And is it even always conscious? Are they even always consciously
no,
doing it?
I don't think so. No, I honestly, I don't think a lot of those people know or are aware of that.
I know.
And that makes it even more sad to
It
me.
is sad. And I don't always get the feeling of ill will coming from them. There are
Right.
definitely people that I have an agenda, but
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But those people I know, and that makes me want to help them. But like, God, can you imagine actually being a celebrity? What they have to go through? Like, you hear those stories about like, don't look them in the eye, and you start to kind of wonder. Like, I mean, you got the Ellens who are just synonymous fucking pricks. Apparently, she's just awful. Apparently,
Really?
There's so many stories in Hollywood. I'm not surprised by this. Have you heard what's going on with her? Where she's got her shows being taken away because her staff and she's just a fucking bitch.
Oh, is that where
where
the meme of like make Eric Andre the new Ellen?
Yeah.
Is that where that came from?
That's part of it. But this has been in Hollywood. It's kind of like the Louis C.K. thing or any of these things. If you like, I pay attention to a lot of Reddit boards. For some reason, I got really obsessed with celebrities being assholes, and I started noticing the same ones. Like Michael Jordan's a prick. Oh, Mike Myers, that sucks. He's a prick apparently. But then you see some people
Really?
real dick actually. Adam Sandler. Well, once again, we're gauging them off maybe a phase of their life where like he may have had a rough life, and maybe he's cool now. Yeah. But like with Ellen,
it must be kind of tough to be under like constant scrutiny and stuff too,
and to be expected to be.
Yeah, you can't really go anywhere without being recognized or anything. You have no privacy and stuff. Not that I think this country has a real problem with celebrity worship.
Yes, that's a part of it too. And also, it's just like being a cop, though. It's like that is a job. You
chose to do that.
You're choosing to do it. So, because Jason Bateman was talking about that, he goes, I don't understand people who go out in the world and like get really rude to someone asking him for an autograph or a picture. He goes, is it my favorite part of the job? Fuck no. He goes, but because the worst part is now that we have phones. And I noticed this when I used to put on a robot suit to promote our band. I didn't get any attention, but when I put on that fucking robot suit at Comfest or something, it was like Michael Jackson. I'm not shitting you. Yeah. And for one day, it was really fun, but it got me thinking like, because the moment I take it off too, everyone just disappeared.
Yeah.
But you get 2 people taking a picture, then 3 people, because there's pack mentality.
Yeah.
And he goes, half the time people don't even know who the fuck I am. They're just like, they ask me afterwards, like, so who are you so I can look you up? They're just taking a picture of me because everyone else is. And it's just a weird thing that happens, and you just want to get to the fucking plane, But so that would suck. He goes, but some people are just downright rude, and he goes, and I don't understand that. But anyways, it would be weird to be a celebrity, though. I still have fascination in being so. I don't know why. It's just a weird goal. I've always wanted to get to that Bowie phase where they're just shoving the cocaine under the hotel door, just see what that feels like. Worshiping Satan, you know how it is. What time we at? Did we get through?
Yeah, we're at about an hour and 15-ish now. So
holy shit!
I know. Yeah,
you gotta go record a band, don't you?
Yeah. I actually, Eric, he's here in the comments. And he also said that they're called energy vampires.
Sweet.
That sounds.
Oh, that's the name of the band.
No.
No.
The name of Eric's band is Body Farm.
Okay.
So we're doing just recording them playing live in their house. And yeah, so that'll be out soon. So everybody,
sweet,
go give Body Farm a like.
So would you do that? Would you make a live recording of a band?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So like I do like live stream, or like I basically take this setup here that I have here and can go and I can do live stream, or I can just record it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd probably just do. After you record it, is there a way to have people come in and maybe like fix up vocals at least or something?
Oh, like retract the vocals and stuff. Yeah, why
maybe because that's the part I'd be most worried about with us is getting our vocals right.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't mind. Man, that's cool, dude. I'm gonna do that, and me and the wife are working on a project that we started with you a little bit, but we're gonna have you master some of that. We've been kind of learning to record at home a little bit. I don't know how good we are at it, but we're getting there. But I'd like to have you master that probably if you'll want.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love
Sweet,
to.
sweet man.
Yeah. Any?
Should we tell them we're taking a couple weeks off, or are we taking a couple weeks off?
I don't know. I guess we should talk about it. Let's let's give it a chat. We'll see what we want to do. I'm going to be going to Colorado for a couple weeks, so we might be taking some time off depending on if we can get a good quality product from just like us calling each other and recording that, or if we can do like some video chat. I know the internet up there is not real good, so I don't have a lot of hope that video will work. But
yeah, and maybe we take a break anyways. It'd be fine.
Yeah,
it sounds like fun for you though. I hope you have a good time. I'll see you in a little bit. There.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting out of the city.
Yeah, Colorado's beautiful.
Yeah. We're just gonna be in a little mountain town,
nice.
So it's pretty secluded, and it's not yet ravaged by the COVID, so I'm not. I don't really encourage people to travel right now, but yeah, it's a pretty untouched area. So
this is a weird question, but can I see the other side of your leg real quick?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got the exact same thing I do. Okay, I was worried that I was like getting some weird ass fucking disease, but it's just from wearing pants all the time.
Oh, well, you like losing hair on certain
just
parts?
on that.
Yeah.
Like just on the outsides.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
We're
it's
good
a pants
then.
thing. Yeah.
All right. Because I started WebMDing that shit, and it's like heart problems. Like, God, when you get my age, the paranoia about your body.
I know.
Half the time I want to die, the rest of the time I'm horrified of it. You know how it goes. All right, we'll end on that note.
Yeah. So don't go on WebMD, folks.
Nope. Love y'all.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this was fun for me. I hope it was for you guys too. And we'll be back either next week if we decide we can do a listenable product. If not, we'll see you guys in late September, and we'll have plenty of things to talk about then.
All right.
But until then, wear a mask, stay sane.
Bye.
Bye.
That's fun.